my quarterback.
Hello, and everybody. Welcome to Football Thursdays here on the channel. That is right, I'm Condog209, and I'm going to be bringing content finally to this channel on a somewhat weekly basis. For the most part, I would like to do it for a weekly basis. And for those of you who have no idea who I am personally, well, thank you. And just for the time being, what is Football Thursday? Football Thursday was my weekly show at my old college radio station, and I really had a fun time with it. It was a very flowing show. Sure, it had some prep time and whatever, but it is also, something that I love more than almost anything in the world, and that is football. And so first, you can see here, we have the college football rankings here for week 2. And what I kind of like to do is look over them, but I like to put my own top 10. And we see here this little team that I'm hovering over, Notre Dame here. I'm just going to kick them out there and bubble Florida in. Sorry, Notre Dame fans, but look. You haven't been in a conference. You haven't won a bowl game since the 2000s. You're pretty much worthless. I'm sorry. Notre Dame fans, come at me. But again, last season, pretty much like everyone was arguing, Oklahoma, Ohio State. But the real problem is, why was Notre Dame in there? Everyone's like, hell, UCF should have been in there. And everyone's like, well, UCF plays in a weak conference. Well, I'm going to tell you one thing. You know how weak Notre Dame's conference is in football, the FBS Independent? It's so weak that Notre Dame could go 0-12 and still be the conference champion. You know why? That's how weak of a conference of only Notre Dame is. I'm sorry, why is that teams get flack for being in a weaker conference, but Notre Dame by the committee doesn't get flack? So that's my Notre Dame hate. If they join the ACC like they did for every other single sport, I would have no problem with them. Maybe they'd even get better. Maybe they'd win a couple more bowl games. But for now, I'm going to be on the Notre Dame hate. And yeah, I know Notre Dame brought great talents out there, such as Tim Brown, Joe Montana, Brady Quinn. Well, at least college level. I'm not going to say translates to NFL because Brady Quinn was better in college than Joe Montana. But we all know the NFL story. But with that, pretty much you all know what my top 10 is then. It is Clemson, Bama, Georgia, Oklahoma, Ohio State, LSU, Michigan, Florida, Texas, Auburn. And that is what is key here. Those are probably the top 10 teams. I mean, Oregon, they played a close game, but they did choke it out in the end. Herbert had a minor injury. I don't think that's going to affect him for the rest of the year, but Oregon probably missed out on making it to the playoff, barring two losses for non-SEC schools. And with that is pretty much, most teams, they haven't been playing big matchups lately. You can't really evaluate too much on that, but that's just how the world works here. But let's just kick it into something that is starting up. That is right, it is the NFL. And yes, I know I can't really go over standings, wins, losses, or anything because the NFL season hasn't started yet, and college football has started, but big games, conference matchups have not kicked into gear. But with that, I'm going to lead with my predictions. And what do I mean by predictions? Well, I'm not going to seed them just because wins and losses, they're X's and O. I'm just going to give conference champions and 2 wild cards. That just makes, everyone easy. So, AFC East, New England Patriots, going to ride them. And AFC North, I'm going to ride the Cleveland Browns, and I'm going to take the Steelers as a wild card into the playoff. South, Andrew Luck is gone, so I'm just going to ride the Texans as the champ there. And then AFC West, I will take the Kansas City Chiefs as champ and Chargers as the other wild card. That's going to be interesting. We're going to have a new playoff team from the AFC. That would be the Steelers and the Colts leaving. As you know, the NFL playoffs does have a lot changing. Just because teams are still talented, still good, there are teams that do not make the playoffs the next year with as talented as they are, which leads me to the NFC. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, the NFC. Let's just go take a look here. We got the Cowboys and Eagles, and I'm going to say there is no wild card here, and a tiebreaker between either the Eagles or the Cowboys wins the NFC East. I do not think there is a wild card from this division in the conference. But we're going to the NFC North here, and I have the Chicago Bears leading the charge here. They're going to win the NFC North, and I have the Minnesota Vikings as the wild card. Stephon Diggs, Adam Thielen, Kirk Cousins, I think they're going to have a nice season this year. Dalvin Cook healthy. It's going to be loads of fun. And then going from the NFC South, I actually say, if healthy, Carolina Panthers reclaim division throne. That is right. DJ Moore, another year of McCaffrey, a healthy Cam Newton, Ron Rivera. I think the Saints missed their window last year. I think they're going to miss a little bit of Mark Ingram there. That's exactly what I'm rolling with. I'm going to have Carolina Panthers, and I'm going to have a wild card spot from the South, with it being similar to the Cowboys-Eagles. There's only going to be one wild card from the South, and it is going to be a coin flip. Yes, that is right. It is going to be a coin flip between the Falcons and Saints. Whew, that is it. It is going to be a tiebreaker. Again, tiebreakers are weird. I don't know which tiebreaker it goes to, but I do think they're going to go 1-1 and have the same win-losses. And then that leads me to the NFC West. Well, I only have one spot left, and I have to give it to the defending NFC champions, the Los Angeles Rams. The Los Angeles Rams, they're getting Cooper Kupp back. They just signed Jared Goff. They're going to be a good team. The Seahawks, they might make it. The Seahawks will probably be on the out. They're the outside looking in. They actually may be a tiebreaker away with one of the wild cards here with the Falcons, Saints, or Vikings. Then I think it just keeps them out. They may be just one win short or just a wild card out. I think maybe an upset from the newly vamped up Cardinals or Niners could hurt them. And no, I do not think these teams are going to be super, heavy wins. But I do think with new offenses with the Cardinals, new coordinator and everything, they might be able to pull out one upset win. And the Niners getting Garoppolo for a whole year have a shot to win a game. And with that, we're going to go to Pigskin Pick'em. Might as well. It just keeps me in track. I use straight because, well, who cares about the spread besides Vegas? I'm sorry. If you do spread, that's cool. It's not for me. In my opinion, you pick who to win. Like, for the Super Bowl is not decided by, well, the Patriots are 3-point favorites and only won by 1 point on a last-second field goal. Packers are the champs now. Like, no. Patriots won the Super Bowl. They won the game. Sorry. I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of that at all. March Madness. Oh, well, Wichita State was favored by 5 points and only won by 2 points on a game-winning 3-point buzzer beater against Kentucky. That I'm a straight person. I do straight. I do not do spread. Then with that, Thursday Night Football, it is going to be, again, I do have not too much to evaluate. I have to go off of what we saw last year and maybe what I think will be different this year. But I'm going to roll with the Chicago Bears at home. Thursday Night Football. It is going to be exciting. It is going to be today. And again, totally awesome here. I'm glad that I'm redoing this whole shebang right here. Let's see, Sundays mornings, we got the first game, which is going to be the highest scoring game of the week. I mark that down right there. If you are not starting any receiver from these teams for your fantasy team, I do play fantasy, but not going to be I'm not totally a fantasy advice, but if I could give you a hint, start receivers from the Vikings or the Falcons this week. It's going to be high scoring. It's in a dome. Actually, they're not a dome anymore. No, it collapsed. But I don't know why I thought that. But Minnesota Vikings, I will roll for the whole home team. New York Jets, they are revamped off. Le'Veon Bell is actually going to have a hot start to the season. I don't know about his long-term stamina because he has not been played for a whole season. But I think he will have a hot start with something to prove, folks. Next up, it is the vamped-up Cleveland Browns. They are home with Odell Beckham Jr., with Kareem Hunt, with Baker Mayfield, with Myles Garrett, and they are playing a team that has lost their coordinator to the Packers, so Cleveland Browns, obviously. Next up, it is my homeboy and the Chiefs taking on Saxonville. And Saxonville cannot score the points-of-ville, so Kansas City for the win. And this is actually a closer matchup than I think this is giving them credit for. Panthers are healthy. They're home. The Rams, they're healthy, but I do not know the extent of Todd Gurley. That's the thing. Todd Gurley is a big what if. He re-aggravates that knee, and they don't have C.J. Anderson. That is a big question mark for the Rams. But you know what? Panthers healthy. They were 6-2 last year, top 3 team in the NFC, and they have a dynamic quarterback, an actual MVP quarterback. Sorry, Jared Goff. You're not an actual MVP quarterback, but Cam Newton was an actual MVP quarterback, so I'm going to go with, first upset, I guess. First upset I'm going to roll with. That is the Carolina Panthers at home versus the Rams. All right, next up, it is Lamar Fraction Jackson versus Ryan Fitzmagic. And, well, I don't think the Dolphins have figured out this Ravens offense, so I'm going to roll Baltimore. Okay, this one, no, I'm not going to roll upset here. The Philadelphia Eagles versus the Washington Redskins. That is going to be a easy win for one of the top teams in the NFC versus one of the weaker teams. Here we got the Bengals versus the Seahawks, and this game may be a little closer than people think, but it is all the way in Seattle. 12th man will be in effect, no A.J. Green, and I will say the Seahawks escape in a game that is closer than people anticipate. The LA Chargers are going to be playing against the Indianapolis Colts. No luck here as Brissett loses his first start as an Indianapolis Colt of the season. Boom. Dallas Cowboys, New York Giants. New York Giants still don't have Golden Tate. Dallas Cowboys have just signed Zeke. They've got their whole team ready and ramped up to go. They got a good defense. They got a good offense. Boom. Detroit Lions versus Arizona Cardinals, and this is going to be an interesting one. We've got Kenny Golladay and Kerryon Johnson versus David Johnson and Kyler Murray and the new air raid offense. And you know what's one thing Cliff Kingsbury wants to do? He wants to show off this offense. And according to this is another upset pick. I will take the air raid at home versus the Detroit Lions and Matthew Stafford. All right, we have the Bucs at home hosting the San Francisco 49ers. And this time, I will not be taking that upset. I will be taking the San Francisco 49ers. George Kittle, Jimmy Garoppolo healthy. Got Kyle Shanahan. And I think they got a great offense rolling. No, it's almost perfect. And they're going to be rolling. And I think they're going to roll into Tampa. And they're going to steal one out there. This game is definitely not as wide open as you think. Patriots lost to the Steelers last season. They didn't have Le'Veon Bell. They had James Conner. And who knows how much heart Antonio Brown put into the season last year. They got Juju. They got Dante Moncrief. They got Vance McDonald. And the Patriots are not known to, be super great in September. I know, Patriot fan here, Tom Brady fan here, but we're not great in September. I think we went 2-2 last year. We had, the year where it was Jacoby Brissett and Jimmy Garoppolo's quarterback. And I'm very scared for this game, but I am going to have to say I might actually roll with the upset. I know. I'm going to have to roll with the upset. I'm sorry. I do not like my team in September. I'm gonna have to roll with the Steelers here. My brother's a Steelers fan, so he might be happy to hear that one. But next up, it is the Monday night doubleheader. We have the Houston Texans going on to New Orleans to face Drew Brees and Michael Thomas. New Houston Texans have just gotten rid of Jadeveon Clowney. I cannot even pronounce his first name right now, so I'm not even going to try anymore. Clowney. And because of that clownish move, I'm going to take the Saints winning a Monday night. And then next we have the Oakland Raiders favored over the Denver Broncos here. And I am going to take a healthy Broncos with a better than Case Keenum quarterback in an upset over the Raiders. So to go back over, we are taking the Bears, Vikings, Jets, Browns, Chiefs, Panthers, Ravens, Eagles, Seahawks, Chargers, Cowboys, Cardinals, Niners, Steelers, Saints, and Broncos. Whew, that was a mouthful, and I will submit my picks if I'm wrong. Oh well, we got next week, and that's all. That is first episode here for Football Thursday. I know it's rough around the edges. Be easy on me. Last time I did a football show, like specifically football, was last year on radio with commercial breaks, with pretty much everything else, and it kind of started midway through the season too, with more to talk about. But with that, I'm going to leave you guys here, and I will be trying to upload more other things besides Football Thursdays. I already have ideas, so again, if you're interested in the channel, stay tuned for that. I enjoy wrestling, Power Rangers, music, movies, basketball, all kinds of stuff that I'm thinking about making content for. And besides that, again, stick around for the channel. I will definitely get better and better each week, as everyone should every week. I mean, look at every famous YouTuber's first video versus their current status. Everyone gets better. You sit through the rough beginnings. That's it. This is Condog. I'm signing out. See you next week.